McDonald's escalating altercation. Sometimes CCTV catches insane things, and we're left wondering how it escalated so fast. This clip is from the Edmonton Police Service YouTube and shows what looks like a quickly escalating altercation. The woman seems to be gesturing wildly at the white SUV, which begins to back up. The windows are up and the person in the car is trying to get away. However, when the second man comes up, clearly to try and figure out what was going on, the person backed up. The person backing up, however, doesn't seem to take very kindly to the approach. He shoots something off, sending the man backward, and then quickly drives off. Luckily, they were both okay, but that was a close one. Shameless donation box thief. These little charity boxes at McDonald's are usually tied down, but there had to be enough situations to necessitate that sort of action in the first place. This man, seemingly shameless in his actions, makes his way up to the Poppy charity collection box and casually unties it. He slips the box under his coat, obscuring it, and leaves the restaurant. It's unclear how much money the man made off with in donations, as those boxes are rarely counted. It likely wasn't a massive amount, but given the speed and confidence in which he does it, it doesn't seem like this is the first time he's done this. A creepy crawly discovery. The last thing you want to find when you're grabbing lunch is a creepy crawly friend. It happens every once in a while, but that doesn't make it any more comforting to see it caught on tape. This is a short clip, but it gives a full view of what many people might consider their worst nightmare. Above the soda machine, a not-so-welcome friend crawls by, making its path over the soda labels.
Well, the last place you'd want to see a cockroach is right near food you're about to eat or near a soda for your kids, but that's exactly what one man saw at a North Las Vegas fast food joint.
The clip was then sent to a local news station to help bring awareness to the glaring food safety violation that could very well make people sick. This would be enough to put anyone off a local establishment, but unless you go inside, you might never catch something like this. Drive-through customers would never even know. Isn't that terrifying? Armed robbery at a McDonald's. If you've ever worked for a food service job, you'll know the drill with a dangerous situation. There's no amount of money worth ever endangering yourself for. This man walks in, waving his weapon around a North London McDonald's. CCTV catches him as he walks behind the bar, waving his weapon around and making the cashier show him to the back. The entire interaction goes over in less than a few minutes, from beginning to end, as he collects the money from the back and runs out where he started. He reportedly made it away with about $2,000 without injuring anyone in the process. As his face and identity were obscured, it's impossible to know who it was or where they went, but it could have been worse. Pickpocket caught on CCTV. Almost no one is safe from a skilled pickpocket, no matter how many other people are around. With the correct sleight of hand and quick enough movements, you might not notice until the other person is far away. This clip is hard to catch, but given how quickly things seemed to move and how close everyone was, do you think you'd notice if someone pulled your wallet from your back pocket? A skilled pickpocket uses his surroundings, and this one absolutely caught the right person at the right time. Cash delivery robbery. The money in a shop has to come from somewhere. In most food service establishments, that usually comes in the form of an armored van or someone coming in ready to bring money. This clip starts off normally, with the driver making their way into the shop and quickly making their way out. However, when he goes outside, someone comes running out of nowhere, and the clip shows them taking the driver down and stealing the money. The CCTV clip showed up during a string of Liverpool cash van robberies, just one of many clips exactly like this. Given the age and quality of the clip, it's not entirely sure if the person was caught or if it was even possible to catch them in what looks worse than 480p. McDonald's looting. A large group of people can be dangerous, especially when people are all fired up and surrounded by people encouraging their behavior. This McDonald's in Nottingham was on the receiving end of one such crowd, with people jumping on the counters and pushing each other around. The employees in the back seem to not know how to respond. In fact, they watch in what looks like abject horror or, as one man in the back proves, complete disregard for what's going on. Police used the clip to study the mob after this crowd looted and stole from the McDonald's. I think no matter how hungry I am, I'd turn around and walk back out if I saw this crowd. Parkland shooter hangs at McDonald's afterwards. This clip differs slightly from others, but only because context matters. This came up during the testimony from the Parkland shooting trials, and the clip shows nothing but a man in a booth at McDonald's. Anyone watching this, without context, might just see a young man on the phone. Knowing the events that had just transpired gives this clip a terrifying edge, knowing just how cavalier he is. The shooter is on the phone, calling up a friend and asking for a ride home, right after the shooting at Parkland. The clip is mostly slow and not very much happened, but imagine coming across the clip without realizing who you're seeing. Terrifying since he's acting so normal through it. McDonald's aggression rushing out. It seems like McDonald's is often a magnet for aggressive behavior. Things happen and there are a decent amount of people around. The clip shows brutal aggression between a few people as they run out of a McDonald's. Most people have their faces blocked out, but the entire altercation seems to begin and be over within just a few seconds. It's crazy how quickly things can go south, and how, without proper CCTV, this entire altercation might have been missed. Raging McDonald's fire. Rarely do you get to see something as unmistakable as a McDonald's on fire. No matter where the clip catches, the fire is raging way over the roof of the building. No matter how large the crew is, it's almost impossible to see through the plume of smoke. The men crawl into the building, seemingly to continue combating the fire. In situations like this, it seems the best that even professionals can do is just contain the fire. After a while, the building seems to be melting, the iconic M is broken and the flames are raging through the roof of the building. It quickly spreads, engulfing the parts of the building that weren't originally on fire. Firefighters struggle against the raging fire as it continues to fall apart in front of them. The fire was started in an act of arson at 4 in the morning, and it took the first unit about 8 minutes to get on the scene, which was time more than enough to ravage the building. Freak accident and lightning strike. Not all crazy fires are a criminal act. Sometimes it's just a freak accident. Imagine being on your lunch break and seeing your local restaurant struck by a freak bolt of lightning. It begins burning the building with a thick plume of smoke rising. Not quite as much fire as the last one, but this one certainly has potential. Thankfully, it looks like the area has been cleared out and people are safe, but still not an ideal situation for anyone. Florida woman has meltdown in McDonald's. You hear stories about Florida men all the time, but this Florida woman took things to the next level. She was asked to pull forward, which queued up a significant meltdown. She comes storming into the building, screaming at the people working. She claims that they were trying to cheat her out of her money, screaming for a refund. She eventually calls 911, explaining she's been stolen from, that she's pregnant and just wants her money back.
I'm at McDonald's. I'm 5 months pregnant. These people don't know how to run a McDonald's. Come on. I want my money. They trying to cheat me out my money.
She's so angry she storms off, but not in the way you'd expect. The woman turns around and begins twerking in the doorway, which she has to be escorted out of, causing quite the scene with her behavior. It was such a roller coaster of events, it's not entirely clear how we got there in the first place.
So they are looking for her right now. Instead of having and enjoying the Golden Arches, detectives say when they catch her, she's going to probably not enjoy this, but she's going to be facing some silver handcuffs.
Teens laugh after deadly attack. Another clip where content absolutely depends on context. These men made their way into a McDonald's, and by the looks of it, the clip is completely normal. CCTV shows a bunch of men laughing around in a McDonald's right after a deadly attack on a local teen. Right after their attack, it seems they made their way for a bite to eat at McDonald's, as if they hadn't just committed a violent crime. The casualness in which they can continue to conduct themselves is chilling, like what they'd done doesn't even entirely register, or maybe it's just an everyday occurrence. Murder suspect caught over Karen call. Luckily, sometimes dangerous criminals are stupid. It seems insane to say, but authorities were called by an upset customer and ended up catching a murderer in the process. Kennesaw police went to this McDonald's to calm down a rapidly escalating situation.
So why'd y'all call? So like what happened?
Because we ordered the food, he couldn't print us a receipt.
Okay.
So he said the receipt would be printed in the back.
Like any Karen-esque situation, the man who called up was complaining to the cops that the fries he'd gotten were cold and he wanted a refund.
You know, I tried the fries they're lukewarm, but they're not hot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I just asked him, can we get some fresh fries?
Okay.
He said, okay, the fries are not hot, touch the fries. I said, no, they're not hot. And at this point, you don't touch them, so you know.
Yeah.
He was kicked out of the establishment when he first pitched a fit and decided to escalate further. The police officer, just doing his job, asked for the victim's ID. He refuses, but tells his name instead.
All right, spell your last name for me.
Simes.
Okay. Where's your driver's license out of?
I don't have it.
Okay.
I think my mother's had it.
After a quick touch base with the manager, the police officer rejoins the man outside and is quickly forced to call for backup. The body cam catches as he realized just who he's got his hands on. Presumed armed, dangerous, and wanted for alleged murder.
All right, Mr. Sims, come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this.
I'm not under arrest or anything, am I?
No, sir. Just come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this real quick.
I said I'm not under arrest or anything.
No, you're not. Yeah, just come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this real quick.
He'd hit the jackpot, all thanks to one person deciding to be a Karen over some cold French fries.
I'm afraid of y'all, sir.
Why are you afraid?
3 years, sir. I'm afraid of you.
All right, I'm gonna walk you through. Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill it out.
Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill it out. Am I
All right,
arrested?
yeah.
No, push me, yeah.
Before the last clip, since you watched until this point, why don't you consider subscribing to the channel? We upload 2 new creepy, disturbing, and downright scary videos every week, so make sure you stay up to date with our latest releases by getting those post notifications. If you enjoyed this one, we have plenty more for you on the channel, so you won't want to miss a single one. 2 a.m. McDonald's drive-thru. No one wants to deal with dangerous situations at work. This McDonald's had the ultimate bad day, as they realized this was not a normal night. Suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, a sedan flies through the wall and into the lobby. It's lucky that the lobby and seemingly the rest of the restaurant were empty. No one got hurt except the person in the car, likely, because it was at 2 a.m. and luckily no one spends that much time at a McDonald's that late. I can't imagine sitting through the rest of my shift after something like that. Do you think they got to go home?